We got a video call of you apologizing.
The feud that had the entire hip-hop world locked in, full of insults, diss tracks, gravesite posts, and even drama involving Beyonce's mother, suddenly came to a shocking halt when T.I. and his son KingHarris did the unthinkable. They went live and apologized. But what pushed them to do it might be even more surprising than the apology itself. Before getting to that moment that left fans from Atlanta to the Bronx stunned, it's important to understand how intense, personal, and ugly the situation had become, because without that context the apology means nothing, and by the end of it, it means everything. The tension between 50 Cent and T.I. didn't just appear in 2026. It traces back to the late 2000s when both artists sat at the top of hip-hop. Curtis, 50 Cent, Jackson dominating New York as the G-Unit general who survived 9 bullets and turned his story into platinum success, while Clifford T.I. Harris ruled the South from Atlanta with unmatched confidence. Their dominance in the same era naturally created friction, with early shots being subtle, sly lyrics, and coded comments that hip-hop fans quickly picked up on. Things escalated in 2007 when T.I. was arrested in Atlanta during a federal sting operation by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives on serious weapons charges involving machine guns and silencers, charges that could have meant up to 10 years in prison per count for a man already carrying a felony from a 1998 cocaine case. Yet after pleading guilty, T.I. received a sentence of just 1 year and 1 day, a punishment that many in hip-hop felt didn't add up, and 50 Cent made sure his doubts were heard in 2008 when he released You So Tough on G-Unit's album Terminate on Sight, firing off lyrics that landed like a brick through a window.
Got the best lawyers money can buy. They said it would have got me 10 or maybe 9. I said, well, how do you explain how homie breathes? I said to keep your mouth shut or you eat the cheese. You so tough.
When people pressed 50 Cent about whether that line was specifically aimed at T.I., he responded the way he usually does, by keeping things slippery and leaving room for interpretation. He explained that he often uses real-life situations as inspiration to create entertaining music and insisted that if he truly had a serious problem with another artist, that person would hear about it directly from him rather than through subtle lyrics. Still, as the questions kept coming and the pressure increased, he eventually responded with a statement that caught everyone's attention.
Is that line about T.I.?
Absolutely, for the public to decide.
So there it was, not a denial and not a full confirmation either. Just the classic 50 Cent move of sitting right in the middle of both, leaving the statement balanced between plausible deniability and obvious accusation, while letting the culture argue about it as he watched from a distance with a smirk. T.I., on the other hand, has always firmly denied that his lighter sentence had anything to do with cooperating with authorities, explaining that his plea deal was simply about resolving the situation for the sake of his family and not about giving up anyone else. He has also pointed to the Crime Stoppers advertisement he participated in as an effort to seek justice for his close friend and assistant Philant Johnson, who was shot and killed in Cincinnati in May 2006, a loss that he has always described as deeply personal and painful. According to T.I., everything he did around that case was about getting justice for a murdered friend, not about working with police against people he didn't even know. But in hip-hop culture, context is often the first thing to disappear when a compelling narrative takes hold, and 50 Cent had a story that spread easily. For years, the situation quietly simmered in the background, with both men occasionally mentioning each other in interviews with a certain level of respect, and at times T.I. even downplayed the tension completely, describing it as two men who might play rough but still maintain mutual respect, an idea he once explained clearly during a conversation when he broke the situation down in his own words.
Me and 50 cool, I'm the only one who's not offended by his brass approach, and he's not offended by mine. So, we play rough, but ain't no issue. It's a mutual respect, though.
So there it was, not a denial and not a full confirmation either. Just the classic 50 Cent move of sitting right in the middle of both, leaving the statement balanced between plausible deniability and obvious accusation, while letting the culture argue about it as he watched from a distance with a smirk. T.I., on the other hand, has always firmly denied that his lighter sentence had anything to do with cooperating with authorities, explaining that his plea deal was simply about resolving the situation for the sake of his family and not about giving up anyone else. He has also pointed to the Crime Stoppers advertisement he participated in as an effort to seek justice for his close friend and assistant Philant Johnson, who was shot and killed in Cincinnati in May 2006, a loss that he has always described as deeply personal and painful. According to T.I., everything he did around that case was about getting justice for a murdered friend, not about working with police against people he didn't even know. But in hip-hop culture, context is often the first thing to disappear when a compelling narrative takes hold, and 50 Cent had a story that spread easily. For years, the situation quietly simmered in the background, with both men occasionally mentioning each other in interviews with a certain level of respect, and at times T.I. even downplayed the tension completely, describing it as two men who might play rough but still maintain mutual respect, an idea he once explained clearly during a conversation when he broke the situation down in his own words.
I said I wanted 50. That's what I said. He don't want no smoke, though. Oh, no. I called my man out. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke. It's cool.
50 Cent responded the way he usually does, not with a diss track or a face-to-face confrontation, but with receipts. He dug through the archives and began reposting the Crime Stoppers video and old court testimony clips, adding caption after caption that seemed designed not just to challenge T.I., but to embarrass him and chip away at his credibility in front of the entire culture, all while keeping his tone light and trolling. Then, on February 22, 2026, things escalated dramatically when 50 Cent posted an unflattering photo of TinyHarris. In that moment, the situation shifted from a typical rap feud into something that felt deeply personal, and it was also the moment when 21-year-old KingHarris decided he had seen enough. What had been a rivalry between two of hip-hop's most successful artists suddenly became something more raw and emotional, touching on one of the strongest instincts anyone can have, the urge to defend their mother. TinyHarris, a Grammy-winning artist and founding member of Xscape who built her own legacy separate from her husband's disputes, had been pulled into a conflict she never chose. Across the internet, many people reacted the same way, saying the line had been crossed because family members shouldn't be dragged into a rap beef. But once 50 made the post, it didn't just provoke T.I., it awakened a son. KingHarris, an up-and-coming rapper, went on Instagram and delivered an emotional response that instantly captured the internet's attention, not because it was carefully planned or strategic, but because it felt completely real. His voice carried the anger and frustration of a son defending his mother, and he held absolutely nothing back.
How y'all bitches raised? I'm not raised like that. I don't go. I'm not going about my mama. I'm not going. So tell your ass mama dig her ass up and post a picture that look better than my mama. What's wrong with you? Y'all better tie y'all shoes. Y'all don't know who with. You better put that music up and shut the fuck up. Cause all that other shit ain't gonna get it. On my mother.
KingHarris's response crossed a line that hip-hop has long treated as sensitive territory. He brought up Sabrina Jackson, 50 Cent's mother, who was murdered in 1983 when 50 was just 8 years old, a tragedy that has shaped much of his life story. King didn't just reference her, but posted images of a tombstone and what appeared to be her gravesite, instantly splitting the internet into two camps. One arguing that 50 Cent brought it on himself by attacking TinyHarris first, and the other saying King had gone too far by involving a deceased parent, regardless of how the feud began. The debate intensified when King returned the next day with even more attacks, calling 50 an attention seeker, referencing the 2000 shooting where 50 was hit 9 times, bringing up Kanye West outselling him in 2007, mocking old photos of him with oversized toys, and even dragging 50's son into the argument while tagging celebrities like Diddy, Rick Ross, and Ashanti to widen the audience. T.I. didn't try to stop his son and instead stood beside him, praising King publicly and escalating things further by releasing the diss track, The Right One, accusing 50 of hiding behind his image, avoiding real competition, having unresolved issues with women tied to losing his mother, and losing past rap feuds with artists like Murder Incorporated, Cameron, Rick Ross, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, and Kanye West, while also previewing another track titled War produced by DJ Tump as part of the build-up to his final album, Kill the King. He also posted a birthday message celebrating his own mother in what many saw as a pointed jab at 50, while the conflict widened when Beyonce's mother TinaKnowles publicly supported TinyHarris with a respectful post praising her grace, which Tiny appreciated and fans welcomed warmly, until 50 Cent fired back with posts mocking TinaKnowles and referencing T.I. and Tiny's child with albinism, along with a GIF referencing Solange's 2014 elevator altercation with Jay-Z, sparking major backlash from Beyonce's fanbase and celebrities who said the feud had gone too far. By February 25, 2026, 50 Cent had deleted all posts related to the beef, prompting debate over whether he had backed down or simply shifted strategy, while KingHarris released his own diss track, Made Man, to show he wasn't stepping aside, and T.I. hinted they were only getting started, yet the internet, both exhausted and fascinated, watched as the controversy grew beyond music into a larger conversation about family boundaries and hip-hop beefs, public accountability, and whether personal lines should ever be crossed, especially when the original issue, a potential versus battle between T.I. and 50 Cent, still hadn't even happened, leaving fans to debate whether the entire spectacle was worth it or simply another example of how quickly competition in hip-hop can spiral into something deeply personal.